11's Sarah Veronis joins us live.
And News 11's Sarah Veronis joins us live.
Our very own Sarah Veronis joins us now live in Carnarvon Township with the very latest. Sarah.
Shannon, we're here on Churchtown Road in Carnarvon Township where the pursuit of serial robber Donald Rutkowski Jr. of Leesport, PA ended this morning. Today's press conference marked a big step for Lancaster County law enforcement and emergency officials. You can see behind me here at the Lidditz Family Cupboard restaurant, it is pretty calm, but this morning was a whole different story. Police are calling the shooting that injured a 29-year-old in the face an incident of road rage. The snow is officially here. It's coming down right now. Pretty light, but it is only going to get heavier. They're even predicting up to 2 feet of snow here in Lancaster, and this is causing locals to head to grocery stores and hardware stores to gear up so they can brave what might be a blizzard. We are still 2 hours away from TELUS 360's kickoff party for Lancaster's biggest day of giving, also known as the Extraordinary Give. All day long, locals have been flooding into this Sunoco to play what I'm calling Who Wants to Be a Billionaire? That's right, it's the record-breaking jackpot. $1.5 billion. The ice sculptures will be here all week long and maybe even till the end of the month. Before I leave, I'm going to snap a photo in here and show you how it's done. Stick your head in and go home with some memories. Live in Lidditz, Sarah Veronis for News 11.
The call box is a tool that was once considered very useful in the past, but compared to modern technology, it is a bit old school. First, you have to pull down the lever, then select the incident on the turnpike and wait for emergency officials to be alerted. The national egg shortage may have impacted the supplier, but it didn't impact how many gallons of eggnog were produced. In fact, here on this shelf, 600,000 gallons were sent out to stores. How does the deer get donated? First, hunters need to bring gutted and unskinned deer to processing centers like this one here. And as you can see, this is where the dirty work gets done.
Thousands of people are here at Clipper Magazine Stadium on this Christmas Eve morning, eagerly waiting to take home a complete Christmas meal, hopefully making their holiday a little bit brighter.
Part of the shelter's overflow plan is to bring extra people into residential rooms like this one here. On cold winter nights, they can fit up to 6 bunk beds where there typically are only 2.
And the team behind this protest says they will continue to raise these signs and fight until they get the wage they believe they deserve. In Lancaster for News 11, I'm Sarah Veronis.
The concept behind the food here is simple, and the impact they have on the community is big. Every month, the tips from this jar, 100% of them go to a local charity. Getting into the Halloween spirit doesn't even have to cost $1. With a simple piece of fabric and your everyday toilet paper roll, you can create the perfect Halloween craft. And just like that, easy as pumpkin pie. Cooper Lindy has been putting the pedal to the pavement on this tricycle for just over 2 weeks, and he says it's been the ride of his life.
News 11 was first on the scene when the suspect ended his streak by shooting himself with a handgun. Our very own Sarah Veronis joins us now live in Carnarvon Township with the very latest. Sarah.
Shannon, we're here on Churchtown Road in Carnarvon Township where the pursuit of serial robber Donald Rutkowski Jr. of Leesport, PA ended this morning. And if you take a look behind me, you'll see the field and tree line where police fled after Rutkowski, who ultimately ended up shooting himself. State police say the suspect, Donald Rutkowski Jr. of Leesport, began breaking into buildings and confronting multiple drivers in Brecknock Township this morning. He successfully stole a vehicle which he abandoned in a field in Carnarvon Township, but he didn't stop here. Rutkowski then continued to run through yards and even entered the home of Ruth Ann Martin, who says this was a terrifying moment.
They said there's a guy loose, they're looking for him. I said, well, there's somebody in my house. And he come towards me and he said, ma'am, I'm not going to hurt you. He said, all I want is some keys. Just give me some keys. I need a car. Or he said, you take me.
And what did you say?
I said, I can't.
He then raced across the street on a neighboring farm, hopped a fence, and headed for the hills. State police pursued him on foot, but it ended after Rutkowski shot himself with a handgun. And we are unclear of his current condition, but we do know that he was airlifted to a hospital. And neighbors nearby say that this incident is, quote, nightmarish for their quiet community. We will have more on this story tonight at 10 p.m. live in Carnarvon Township. Sarah Veronis for News 11.
Linda, while investigations are ongoing, within the past week, 2 students, 1 male, 1 female, were assaulted on separate nights on Franklin and Marshall College grounds. And this has sparked a serious conversation among students.
This has kind of been a big talking point, I think, on this campus because it's kind of abnormal.
For the second time in less than a week, Franklin and Marshall students have been alerted of assaults on campus. The first, a male student allegedly robbed by 3 juveniles wearing hooded sweatshirts.
I found out via text, actually. We get these things called timely warnings sent to the entire student body.
The second, according to campus safety, a female student who sustained minor head injuries when she was knocked to the ground by 2 men at 1 a.m.
It is kind of unusual that the description was very similar for both cases. So maybe, is it the same group of people? I don't know.
The most recent of the 2 assaults occurred here in Williamson parking lot. And what many students say concerns them is both attacks happened on campus.
We know the area that we live in can be unsafe, but on our campus itself is kind of unusual.
It's different because they're on campus versus in Buchanan Park or somewhere else off campus. So it was a little nerve-wracking.
But for many, these attacks have not changed how they feel about their personal safety.
Overall, I've always felt very safe on campus.
I don't always walk in a group. I'll walk back from West James by myself at night, and it doesn't bother me.
The college is working to create a safer environment for their students. They currently have a blue light emergency system, 24/7 public safety officers, the Live Safe app, and work with Lancaster City Police. And for those who may be rattled by the recent events, fellow students have some sound advice.
Just try to walk with friends, try not to be out too late, always walk in a lighted area of campus.
And as we said, investigations are still ongoing, but F&M administrative officials did host a public forum tonight for the students to discuss their safety concerns. Live in the Control Center, Sarah Veronis, News 11. But first, Ephrata police confirm 1 person is dead following a house fire back on New Year's Eve. Good evening, I'm Sarah Veronis. Ephrata police were notified by the Lehigh County Coroner's Office that 59-year-old James Ramsey died yesterday at the Lehigh Valley Burn Center. More students across the nation are earning their high school diplomas, and most Lancaster County schools are well above the national average. Gas prices continue to fall across the region, some stations posting numbers as low as $1.96. Right here in Ephrata, Turkey Hill on West Main Street. But we begin tonight with vandalism on the Ephrata Rail Trail once again. Good evening, I'm Sarah Veronis. For the 3rd time in less than a year, the Major Dick Winters Trail has been vandalized here in Ephrata, and police are still looking for the person or persons responsible for the crime. Well, today started with some wet weather and chilly temps, but will the weekend be dry? Carl Kern has more on the weather in his first look at the forecast. Hi, Carl.
I'll tell you what, Sarah.